I be aka ibelete nwanne anyị nwoke bụ nna anyị n'obodo a. Bụ onye anyị nwụrịla anya na nchekwube na eziokwu nke ya nwa na onye ji guzo. Na eziokwu a ga na-edu ụmụ Biafra na-aga n'ihu. Ọ ga na-edu IPOB na-aga n'ihu. Anyị bịara n'ụlọ ya nabata anyị. Were obi ọcha na obi udo wee nabata anyị. Anyị na-asị na ọ ga-adịrị ya na mma na ezinụlọ ya na mma. Anyị na-asị na ihe ọwụla anyị chọrọ bịa mere ka anyị ga-enwetarịrị ya. N'ihi na ihe anyị na-ekwu okwu mgbe na-ewu n'ọnwụ ndụ mmiri ndụ azụ. Nwa mmụọ emegbula nwa mmadụ, nwa mmiri emegbula nwa mmụọ. Ihe anyị na-ekwu. Anyị na-asị na Biafra ga-abịara na ndụ na-awụghị n'ọnwụ. Anyị ga-eri uru ọmụmụ. Anyị ga-eri uru akụ na ụba n'ime Biafra. Anyị na-asị na onye ọwụla pụtara na sị na Biafra agaghị adị, onye ahụ agaghị adị. Anyị anaghị asị emebere ugo obere nke si bebere ka ya gosi nke ọ ga-ebe. Anyị na-asị na nku ga-ekwe ọ ga-edo ọ ga-anwụ. Ọ bụ eziokwu ka anyị ji na-aga njem a. Ọ bụ ịhụnanya ka anyị ji na-aga ofu obi. Anyị na-asị onye ọbụla hụrụ eziokwu ji ide eziokwu aka, n'ihi na ọ bụ eziokwu bụ ndụ, ọ bụghị okwu asị. Anyị na-asị na ọ ga-ada anyị niile na mma. Anyị ga-ahụ echi n'ihi na echi anaghị agwụ agwụ. Anyị na-arịọ Chukwu nke abịa ka onye anyị ndụ, nye anyị ahụ isi ike, nye anyị ngọzi nke ya, nye anyị ịhụnanya. Ekpere niile ka anyị na-ekpe ọwụ ka onye bi n'ime eluigwe ka o wee nụrụ olu anyị, wee gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka, wee zọpụta anyị na mkpa niile nke na-akpa anyị nke bụ Biafra. Anyị na-asị na ikpete maazụ anyị ga-enye aha nsị ụtụtụ na nsọpụrụ na-eji ama site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi.
Welcome, my listeners. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are joining me from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much. And remember, in this channel, we do not preach hate speech. We do not talk against people. We are speaking the mind of the people, making a case for the people and saying it the way it is, bringing the problem of the people in the country of Nigeria to the front burner, that the world might see the true situation of what is going on. Please share this video if you have not shared. Share it to all platforms. Share it to family and friends. Make sure that everybody gets this video. They will hear our voice. Don't allow the conventional media to change the narrative. Don't allow the conventional media to continue to push lie against us. We will not allow that. Use your own platform to speak up for the things that are happening in the country of Nigeria. Use your platform, no matter how small, no matter how big, use it to speak up about the problem that we are facing in the country of Nigeria. Share the videos of all those who are speaking up for the right thing, who are speaking up for the oppressed. Share their videos when you come across it. That is the only way the world can hear our voice. They might not come to our aid, but at least they will know that we have spoken, so that when we begin to take action, they will say we didn't say it. We have to fight for our freedom. We will fight for it. Nobody is going to hand us freedom in a platter of gold. We will fight for it. That is why freedom requires sacrifice. Already you can see the Biafrans are making a hell of sacrifice. So many people have been lost. Biafra have made so much sacrifice, unimaginable. That is why today they are in the front burner of the liberation of the people in the country of Nigeria. When you see Biafrans shouting, crying, seeing a lot of confusion, fighting every here and there, it is because of what they are going through, what their parents have gone through, and what their children are about to go through if nothing is being done. That is why they are fighting. But thank God some other people are still waking up. The Duduwa people are waking up. The Middle Belters are waking up. Every other region is waking up. And I thank God for the uprising that is coming. Now it is time. Do not waste your energy on anything, because the place we are is not suitable for anybody. Remember what a senator said in the House of Senate, that contraption called Nigeria, the constitution they have, will never bring peace, can never bring unity, and can never bring progress. A senator said it in the House of Assembly. The videos are there for you to see. Today, in everything that is happening before your own very eye, you can see that contraption called Nigeria doesn't mean well for anybody. They do not mean well for any indigenous tribe. All they want is to make sure that they destroy all of us and hand us over to the enemy, who are foreigners. The Fulani Janjaweed, who are killing every indigenous tribe in the country of Nigeria, trying to take our land by force. They are not indigenous to Nigeria. They are not Nigerians. They are strangers. Even though we open up our arms and welcome them, even integrate them into our system, made them to take positions. The Hausas allowed them to take several positions. Instead of giving back what they have given to them, they decided to kill us. They have decimated the Hausas. The Hausas are nowhere to be found. Today we are talking about Fulani this and Fulani that. To the extent that they can come to the national television to boast to us that they're going to bring other of their brothers all the way from West Africa and bring them and settle in Nigeria. They say it boldly without missing word. And you that are from the southern part of Nigeria, you that you are indigenous to Nigeria, you are still silent and watching. Well, our Supreme Master cannot be silent and watch. Just like every other Biafran and Ududuans cannot sit back and watch a foreigner take over our own nation. That is what we are speaking of, and the time is now. We cannot allow them to do what they want to do. They have come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. That is the only mission the Fulanis have against the indigenous people in Nigeria. They don't hide it. It's not a hate speech. This is the truth and nothing but the truth. We call them by their name. That is why they hate us. We can't try to be politically correct in the social media. We say it the way it is. Maybe those who are in the conventional media might be trying to be politically correct. They'll be scared of calling it and saying it the way it is. But here we say it exactly the way it is. They are the common enemy. The Fulani Janjaweed are the common enemy in the contraption called Nigeria. That very contraption have wonderful people, sensible people, reasonable people, educated people, but yet the Janjaweed have decided to run the country down with their illiterates, uneducated and unqualified people in all posts in that very contraption. When they open their mouth to begin to speak, you'll be wondering. And not just them, they have succeeded in making the other people who are educated to be uneducated. They have made other people look foolish. You will see a professor serving under somebody who did not have a common entrance exam, who didn't pass a common entrance exam. A professor will be serving under him. In so many offices you can see of, you see people who are qualified serving under unqualified people, people who don't have any certificate, or some people who bought certificates. That is where we say we do not want to be part of this contraption anymore, because it's not doing anybody any good. A constitution they have institutionalized inequality. That is why I get angry with people who come on national television to talk about equality, that you want a Nigeria where everybody will be treated equal. Where will you find such a Nigeria? Where are you going to find a Nigeria that will treat everybody equal? A Nigeria that already have put inequality in their constitution. They have already institutionalized inequality. You are supporting it at the same time, telling us that you want a Nigeria where people will be equal. Where can you find such Nigeria? It doesn't exist anywhere. That is the biggest lie that they are telling us. The biggest lie that the politicians are holding on to, and they are bringing this lie, pushing it to us, and many people are buying into this lie. How can you have a Nigeria of equality when you are practicing a quota system? A quota system that makes an unqualified person to be in a certain position just because he's from a certain position. Even though he's not qualified, you put him or her there. And she or he will continue to destroy the department you put her and make sure that they run every other person down. A quota system that makes sure that all of us become dumb. You cannot grow above others. When you want to grow, they will press you down and make sure you become dumb like them. A quota system who makes sure that a child that is supposed to be admitted in university will not be admitted just because you want to make a chance for somebody who is not qualified and not ready to improve him or herself. How can you be able to be functioning effectively in such kind of environment? These are the reasons why we say we do not want to be part of anything one Nigeria. The only thing that will settle the problem is break up. When you break it up, each region will go back home and write a constitution that will suit them. For those who do not want to improve themselves, who do not want to educate themselves, who prefer a certain kind of law in their area, for those who prefer Sharia law in their land, they will be happy and able to practice it without anybody interrupting them. And those who want a secular system will practice the secular system without anybody interacting them. They will educate themselves to any level and grow at their own pace. That is what we are asking for. But in a contraption called Nigeria, there can never be that space where people can grow at their own pace. It doesn't permit people to grow. It doesn't permit growth. It doesn't permit success. It doesn't permit unity. It doesn't permit security. Nigeria doesn't permit all this. So why must anybody be talking about it? Why must anybody be part of that very country that cannot secure you? That cannot secure your life, cannot secure your property? It is a shame that some people, out of ignorance, some out of their selfish interest, some out of wickedness, some out of greed, are calling on one Nigeria, even when they know there is nothing like one Nigeria. You see them, they come on national television, speak a lot of grammar. Motivational speakers, when they begin to talk, you think they are making sense. After saying all those rubbish, you find out that they have no solution. The constitution remains where it is. Everything remains where it is. That very institutionalized inequality remains there. And when the 2023 comes, you see all of them going to sign that very institutionalized inequality. Each time you go into vote, what you are doing is to put your signature for the institutionalized inequality in Nigeria. The inequality is in the constitution, and they will never ever change it because it benefits them. The Janjaweed will never ever change it. That is where we have found ourselves. And this is why we say we cannot continue to be part of this. We can't continue to be part of it. It doesn't matter what anybody say. It doesn't matter what anybody do. We cannot be part of it. Everything they are doing is for their own selfish interest. You can see recently, their Attorney General of Federation came out to begin to tell us some trash about recovering of loot. You are now that know that every loot that they have recovered in the past, they shared it among themselves. There are a lot of cases, even around him. He has been indicted in many cases of relooting the loot that were recovered. Nobody can say anything. All because he's a Fulani. They are master in looting. And today he's coming to tell us again about recovering assets. Assets that you will recover and restore back. You talk about the rule of law. He is defending the rule of law. When you know openly that the government of the Janjaweed doesn't obey any rule of law, they have never ever obeyed any rule of law. Injustice everywhere, even for their election, they were elected through injustice. How can these people give you justice? Listen to what the Attorney General of Federation is saying, and within yourself, search Nigeria and see whether if there is any truth in what he's saying.
Covering and repatriating Nigeria's assets?
Well, we have multiple assets that we are pursuing internationally, inclusive of the United States of America. And in that respect and direction, we have some other associated bilaterals. I hope to travel to DC by tomorrow, all in an attempt to see what we can do in terms of recovery of associated assets. But one good thing about the United Nations General Assembly is the fact that Nigeria as a nation, we are trying as much as possible to see what we can do in terms of building consensus associated with making things easy for claiming for, or indeed recovery of the looted assets internationally. We are building consensus in terms of driving resolutions and the processes and procedures associated with asset recovery. So while we are pursuing the recovery of the assets in their own right, we are equally trying as much as possible to see what we can do in terms of building consensus around making the process of recovery of looted assets easier locally and internationally.
So at this particular meeting, what's the impact you're hoping to make? Will be representing the government and the...
Well, associated recoveries associated with looted asset is one of it, and in that direction, what I am trying to say, in essence, is that as far as the General Assembly is concerned, we are trying to kind of gather international momentum associated with the processes and procedure in terms of making things easier for countries to recover assets with ease. So we are trying to create a consensus building towards the processes, towards the procedure, and towards a common understanding of how we can work together in making things easier in recovery sense.
So how much have we been able to recover and taken back home so far, and how much are we looking at going forward?
Well, in terms of recovery, as you could rightly remember, at a point we recovered over 322 million US dollars from Swiss. That was around 2017. And then at around 2020, we equally recovered around 311 million US dollars from United States of America. And we have equally tried again to recover, I think, around 78 million pounds from UK associated with Malabu OPL 245. And we are making some insignificant recoveries as well. But as far as the meeting I intend to attend in Washington, D.C. by tomorrow is concerned, we are looking at the possibility of recovering further 200 million pounds, among others. But then that does not mean to say that there are no other associated assets being pursued in the international, in terms of some other countries of the world, inclusive of Ireland and some other countries. We are pursuing a lot of assets across the globe, and we intend very soon to we are coordinating a further meeting relating to huge recovery in UK associated with certain personalities. But then I would like to give further disclosure and respect there too, taking into consideration the need not to be preemptive as far as our strategies are concerned.
Nigerians are highly expectant about the recoveries and how it's going to be put into the economy to shore up things economically and otherwise. So how do you think, can you just reassure Nigerians about this?
Well, I think the assurances are on the ground. The assurances associated with the fact that the $322 million earlier on recovered, while what was indeed deployed in the social investment program of the federal government, program that affects the program that was intended to empower people, particularly as it relates to earn power and associated programs, inclusive of trader money, inclusive of associated programs that have to school feeding programs as well. So in terms of touching the lives of the Nigerians, I think that 322 million naira impacted positively. And then if you are talking of the infrastructure as well, the fact that the $311 million that was subsequently recovered from Switzerland was indeed deployed in Kano, Abuja-Kano highway, Lagos-Ibadan highway, second Niger bridge, is a testimony to the fact that these monies being recovered at the instance of the federal government are indeed effectively and efficiently being utilized for the development of the nation, for supporting the poor, and indeed bringing about changes in terms of poverty eradication as a program of the federal government. So I think we are doing wonderfully well in terms of deploying recovery of the looted assets and deploying same in projects that impact positively on the lives of the people.
Recently, you talked about arrests made of those allegedly financing terrorist activities in the country. May we know the number of those in detention and the nature of the high-profile Nigerians?
Well, as far as that issue of terrorist financing is concerned, it's a work in progress. And indeed, I would like to be preemptive both in terms of investigation. But one thing I can say for sure is arising from such arrests, the terrorist funding and financing has indeed been crippled substantially, and that eventually translated to some major improvements being recorded as far as crippling the strength of terrorists is concerned within the nation. You can see visibly that we are indeed witnessing tremendous successes associated with the Boko Haram, which translate to significant dissemination of the Boko Haram terrorists. They have been decimated to a larger extent, to a larger degree. You can see what is unfolding as far as the Northwest banditry activities are concerned as well. They are as well being decimated to a larger extent, to a larger degree. All these are indeed the effect of the effect of what we have done. We have succeeded in doing in terms of identifying in terms of blocking the terrorist financing and funding. So as far as that aspect is concerned, we have succeeded, one, in identifying those that are responsible for funding, two, blocking the leakages associated with funding, and then three, embarking on aggressive investigation that is indeed impacting positively in terms of the fight against terrorism. So, but then the truth of the matter is that investigation is ongoing, is advancing, and for the purpose of investigation, I would like to be preemptive in terms of making disclosures that will have the effect of undermining the successes we are recording as far as investigation is concerned. But one thing I can tell you for sure, and legitimate court orders taken into consideration what we have presented before the court eventually exercised its discretion in terms of granting orders that we can have them in custody pending the conclusion of investigation, which investigation in essence is indeed deeply taking place, and we are making a lot of successes and recording a lot of progress in the direction of investigation. Rightly know, obedient to court orders and court judgments, but then you have to understand within the context of such obedience that there are associated rights and interests that are vested in the federal government, inclusive of right of appealing against a judgment, inclusive of right to file an application for setting aside the purported judgment and order, and indeed inclusive of the possibility of filing a fresh action if indeed the jurisdiction of the court that was alleged to have indeed handed down that judgment is in issue. So we are doing the needful in terms of looking at the law as it exists and then working within the context of the law in ensuring that justice is done as far as the contending issues between the parties are concerned.
Finally, sir, you've been relating with President Mohammadu Buhari for a very long time. What do you think Nigerians do not know about him regarding his forthrightness, uprightness, and incorruptibility?
Well, as far as the president is concerned, a single, perhaps, sentence that can characterize him and his person is that of transparency and accountability. You cannot find the president in any way being compromised as far as transparency, accountability, processes and procedures are concerned. So he is a man of process, he is a man of procedure, he is transparent, he is accountable. That, I think, can characterize the personality of the president very well, taking into consideration his general disposition as far as issues are concerned, both governance, administrative and otherwise. You can never find him operating in breach as far as processes are concerned, as far as procedure is concerned, as far as transparency is concerned, as far as accountability is concerned. So he is an embodiment of transparency, an embodiment of accountability, and in fact, above all, an embodiment of integrity that has been acknowledged locally and internationally. As far as the core judicial system is concerned, is a status quo that as at the time the parties approached the court, it was the Federal Revenue Service that was indeed collecting the value-added tax. So with that in mind, the federal government has succeeded in obtaining an order that establishes the sustenance of the status quo, which status quo is that the Federal Revenue Service should continue the collection pending the determination of the court, and pending the determination of the cases that are instituted by states, particularly the Rivers State government and the Lagos State government, and the cases are being determined by the court. But one thing of interest is the fact that the federal government had indeed taken cognizance of the fact that where there exists a dispute between state and the federal government, it is the Supreme Court that should naturally have the jurisdiction to determine the dispute between a state and the federation. And we are taking steps to consider the possibility of instituting an action before the Supreme Court for the purpose of having this matter determined once and for all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You can see there is no single truth in the message that is passing. They are just telling lies every now and again to be able, all they do is just to hold the power, and they will do nothing to it. They will do nothing with it. They don't even favor their own brothers in the north. The poor masses in the north, they don't care about them. All they want is to buy properties everywhere. This same person that is talking about the government of properties and assets have properties in Dubai, have properties in all over the world where he has bought. Yet he is there talking about recovery. He will first of all hand over that one that he has stolen before you talk of recovery. That is what a sensible person should do. This is why we don't want to be part of this very janjaweed, because they will not do us any good. Recently, you saw also that of CBN governor. CBN governor came out and was telling us how Aboki FX was fixing the Naira rate. How can Aboki FX be fixing Naira rate for you when you have a central government in power? You are in charge of the central bank, yet Aboki FX is stronger than you to fix exchange rate, it means you don't know what you're doing. It's either you are lying or you don't know what you're doing. You are saying, are they the one fixing that of Britain? Are they the one fixing for UK? Are they the one fixing for China or Japan? They cannot be able to fix it because those people have a system that is working. Nobody can be able to fix their price because they have a system that works, and they are not lying. They are saying the truth, following the truth. But in Nigeria, nothing is working. And you yourself, you know you are lying because you have been indicted in fraud. There was an audio recording that was being released. When I get the audio, I'm going to play the audio for you so that you can listen and see what your central bank governor is doing, the fraud he's committing. But in the outside, he will come out and begin to tell us about what Aboki FX is doing. That is the one fixing the Naira rates. Who doesn't know that the Naira doesn't have any value? Who doesn't know that the rate of Naira is depreciating every day? Who doesn't know that? Even without Aboki FX doing it, don't we know that that is what is happening? It is obvious. By the practical things you see before your own eye, the way the economy is going, you should know that your Naira is rubbish. But they will be boldly come online to begin to deceive people and talk trash. That will say, we don't want to be part of this very nonsense and we cannot be part of it. Those they call themselves politicians. You see Turubu in one of his videos I saw recently. I stumbled on one of his videos where he was telling people, that there is no need fighting against the election. There's no disrupting the election. That if you disrupt the election, you are disrupting your election because you are the one that is going to win. It's going to affect you. It is this same Turubu that employed talks in Lagos State to make sure that the Biafrans in Lagos State did not vote. During the 2019 election, he employed talks to make sure that a certain group of people who were supposed to favor the other party did not vote, mainly the Biafrans. Today, he's now speaking, gathering people to talk. You would think that he's a human being talking. Watch the video.
Our success is the future of this country. If it is food, we have enough to eat for ourselves and our children. If it is management of our family, we can do it for ourselves without seeing you. But we all say we must get together to rescue this country. Yes. So that the future of your children, my own grandchildren, and yours, we have a country they can be proud of. Our opposition, as we are asking them to go and vote, I have one secret for you. Let me ask the question. If you know you can win, will you fight and disrupt the vote?
Not at all.
Eh?
Not at all.
When you know you are sure to win,
No way.
will you fight and disrupt the vote?
No way.
The opposition. Your job is not to stay and make sure that they fight alone, that they vote alone. Your job is to protect that vote, to make sure that anybody who wants to fight, you don't allow them to fight, because you know you are winning. You have everything to lose. Any vote they disrupt is your vote. Any vote they cancel may be your vote. So the job is not the one getting people to vote, but getting people to protect that vote. Now listen to me.
These are the kind of people who are a bunch of liars. They will tell you one thing in the morning, in the afternoon they do a different thing. They will tell you one thing in the evening, the next minute they are doing a different thing. These are the kind of people we have who are running your daily life in the country we call Nigeria. That is why we do not want to be part of it. Such people are not qualified to run our life. Such people are not qualified to run our life. You see the UN meeting that is going, the meeting that's going in UN in New York. You see what your contraption called Nigeria is doing. They went and hired protesters. Protesters that are not even Nigerians, foreigners, are the ones protesting. This is a country that have the most populated black African country in the world. Yet they don't have people to protest for them. In United States alone, we have millions of people who are supposedly Nigerian in United States. You couldn't be able to get them to protest. You went and paid foreigners. You went and paid foreigners to come and protest for you. What does that tell you? It tells you that you are not with the people and the people are not with you. You are not standing for the people. You are standing for yourself. That's what it tells. Watch the video.
Sir, do you mind I ask a few questions? Can I record you?
All right.
I just want to know what is going on today.
Well, this is protesting for Nigeria.
Oh, for Nigeria?
Yeah.
For a stronger Nigeria. It's a Nigerian Christian, not target of genocide or ethnic cleansing. So what part of Nigeria are you from?
I'm not.
You're not a Nigerian. So how then you're not a Nigerian and you're protesting for Nigeria?
Well, anybody's black, you know what I'm saying? I protest for them.
Well, you know, when you got to protest with the information and the stuff that is happening.
No.
So how do you know that Nigerian Christians are not the target? How did you know that?
I don't know.
So why then do you have the placard?
Oh, look, I'm going to tell you something. Me, I protest for anybody. I help a lot of people.
So you were paid to do this?
Yeah.
Or you were paid to do this?
Yeah, I just joined in with everybody.
Because you did not know.
Black, white.
No, I understand. It is good to support brothers, to support the culture, but also it is also good to protest and pass the right information, right?
It's a lot of information going out here, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people twist a lot of things up.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure what.
But you got to do a little bit digging.
However, you know what I'm saying? I'm just here to help everybody out.
I understand that. It's not your problem. It's not your fault. You're doing what they ask you to do.
Yeah.
At least you're paid to do this, and you're doing what you get paid for.
No, it's not about pay. You know what I'm saying? It's just about.
This is the situation. With all that I have shown you, are you still going to be calling yourself a one Nigerianist? Is it not high time you stand up and speak up with your people? If you are Oduduwa, join the Oduduwa group. If you are a Biafran, join the Biafra group. If you are from the middle belt, it is high time for us to rise up and do the right thing. It is high time. There is no more time to waste. There is no more energy to waste. This is the time you have to stand up, as you have seen. As long as they are holding our senior Martin we will continue to speak up and we will continue to fight for his immediate release. Any contribution you are making on your own angle to make sure that our Sule Mazinard account is being released, continue to make that contribution. If you want to sit at home willingly on your own without being forced. You will never lack. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to protect our Sule Mazinard account. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to bless our Sule Mazinard account. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama continue to strengthen him, prosper him, give him good health, give him revelation so that he can be able to bring word to us. And very soon, we shall march into Biafra in uniform. We shall march into Biafra happily in that land flowing with milk and honey. Nobody will deny us our freedom. We are going to take our freedom by ourselves. We can't wait for anybody to hand it over to us. We are taking our freedom now, not tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching wherever you are watching from. And remember, guys, bye-bye. See you again on the next video.